My name is Harry, and today we're making some chocolate chip cookies. Now, truth be told, this type of cookie isn't my favorite. I got another cookie I like more, but this recipe is my favorite of what we got. So, I ain't gonna complain. It's still cookies. The ingredients in front of us, as you can see, I'll list them now. 5 cups of flour, 2 cups of unsalted butter, 4 eggs, 2 cups of brown sugar, 1.5 cups of white sugar, half a cup of yogurt, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. We use Himalayan salt, but you can use regular salt also. Alright, let's get started. Also, this should be stated probably beforehand. Preheat the oven to 350, just so when you're done with this, you can immediately hop in the oven. Let's get started. We're gonna start off with the butter, then we're gonna move on to the sugars, both of them, then the eggs. While it's all mixing, in between all those steps, we're gonna be just letting it mix for a few seconds. Afterwards, we're gonna add all of the different types of things, such as the salt, the baking powder, the baking soda. We're gonna mix it with the flour and then add the flour slowly in here while it's mixing. And then after that's done, after it starts to like get fluffy and stuff like that, then we add the chocolate chips to, make your chocolate chip cookies. Let's get started. We're gonna move on to the butter now. I also recommend you wear gloves because this gets a little dirty. I'm gonna throw these away. We're gonna just make sure, we're gonna push it down a little bit, make sure it's all in there. Now we're gonna start it up, only keep it on 1, the lowest setting for your mixer, just to slowly get it mixing. Only do that for about 10 seconds. Next, now that we've mixed it for about 10 seconds, starting to get in there, now we add both the sugars, such as our white sugar and our brown sugar. We add these at the same time, not separately. Put it back up, and we mix that on the lowest setting again for about like 2 minutes. We're gonna crack the eggs now. We're gonna move that. Now we're gonna move on to the eggs. I have a separate bowl for the eggshells. If you guys have like a trash can next to you, that also works. But what we're gonna do is actually, I changed my mind. We need to probably use this for the actual yolks and this for the shells. Seems easier in my opinion. Let's get the cracking. Now we're gonna, forgot to mention this, I had to stop real quick just so I can make sure that I've mentioned this to everyone. Every time you crack an egg, immediately put it in there. My spatula's in there, so we're gonna move it out real quick and put it right there. Shouldn't interfere with anything. Every time you crack an egg, just boop, right in there. The reason why we're using a separate bowl for this, what you're asking, is because just in case you mess up a crack, eggshells get in there, if you dump it in there, what's gonna happen? It's stuck in there in the end recipe. That's gonna suck to get out. So it's better to use a separate bowl for the eggs. So just in case an eggshell does get in there, you can easily just bloop, pluck it out. And that's our last egg. That's all 4 of them. I'm gonna put it back up. Gonna wipe my hands real quick. And we're gonna start it back up again, only on 1, until it's nice and mixed in. looks good to me. I'm gonna put it down. Now, I'm gonna really quickly, I think I forgot to state this at the beginning. Right after that, instead of jumping on that, you're just gonna real quick grab your half cup of yogurt. Plop it in there. Put it back up and start it back up. While that's mixing, we're just gonna put away the stuff we don't need anymore, such as cracked eggshells and the cup we used for the yogurt. Also wash your hands after the eggs, just in case you don't want to spread salmonella. We're gonna stop it now. Actually, my apologies. We're gonna continue it on a lower setting though, only on one, while we work on that. Now, I don't want to move this, so we're just gonna move this stuff instead. I'll put the spatula right here for now. We're gonna grab our flour, our baking powder, our baking soda, and our salt. Now, with all this stuff, here's our ingredients. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. That's 1. And that's 2. Next, using the exact same measurement, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, only 1. Now, finally, again, using the exact same measurement, 1 of salt. Now, we mix all of this. Hand beat it with your hands. Mix it all in with the flour, and then, slowly, we're gonna add it into the mixture. We fast forward a little bit. First of all, it's good to get all the stuff you no longer need anymore off the table, and just also clean up really quickly. You know, you got stuff you dropped up, clean it up real quick. Alright, so now we fast forward. This is ready, and we've already mixed in our flours, salts, baking powders. You're ready now. So now we're gonna slowly, using a 1 cup measurement, slowly add this in while this is mixing. Let's get that started. Try not to miss like I just did. I'm gonna lower it every single time I put it in, just to make sure we can guarantee it's all in there. Small mistake by my end. Do not listen to my previous stuff. this. It was somewhere, we knew about this, but we couldn't find it. We just found it. This makes your job 8 times easier, so just pop it like that. And just like that, it's done. Alright, we're gonna let that mix for a second. And yeah, some miserrors happened with the recipe. Now I'm not gonna mention who's at fault, but in the original recipe, we're not talking about the beginning, we're talking about the actual recipe right now. You're supposed to add 1 cup of butter. We accidentally added 2 cups of butter. So yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. It's a big mistake, don't do that. So we just got this, gonna make our lives 10 times easier. Now, near the end of the video, we're probably gonna write down, it's gonna be on screen, the whole recipe for you, or in the description maybe also, the entire recipe. So, you know, if you don't wanna have to watch the entire video, just look at the description, or look at probably the part of the video where we show it, and just do that. So, let's get started. It should also be stated that every single time you're getting ready to add the chocolate chips, it is mixing, but then afterwards, stop the mixing so you don't break the chocolate chips. Two. 3. And finally, 4. Now that we're finally done with that, preheat the oven to 350. We're gonna get the trays ready. We're gonna obviously, put each of them on the tray, and we're gonna bake it for about 10 minutes. That's right. Oven's preheated. We're gonna do it in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 12 minutes, but you can do more if it's not cooked fully. Here's how our child's looking. I'd say it's looking pretty good. I do say so myself. Now, as you see, we got our trays. Obviously, depending on the size of your tray and the size of your oven, you want to go bigger or smaller, but for this tray, we're gonna do 3x4. So, yeah. So we will quick just move it so you can actually see what I'm doing, since you can't really see from that angle. We just really quickly move the mix and stuff like that back. So yeah, let's get back to it. We got the scooper. I'm gonna scoop up the big old chocolate chips. That was a bad scoop though, so we're gonna redo it. That's good. All right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 4x3 if you're wondering. If you want to, you can add chocolate chips on top of it if you want. I'm not going to. I think we got enough already. Now, we're gonna put it in the oven. Again, 350 degrees for 12 minutes. Preferably, you don't want to put it on the top rack so it doesn't cook too fast, but you don't want to put it on the bottom rack so it doesn't cook too slow. If your oven doesn't have a middle rack, then just go with the preferable lower rack just so you don't overcook it by accident. Because you can easily just cook it for longer. If you cook it for too long, you've messed up the entire batch. So yeah, let's go ahead and put it in. Here's the finished product. Now, should be warned, I previously said 12 minutes. After 12 minutes of us cooking it, we decided to add a little 2 extra minutes in there. 14 minutes total. And if you want to zoom in the camera, I'm going to use my force powers to just rub it in. As you can see, they should look like this when it's done. Pretty good. Now, as much as I want to move the tray so you can see it better and stuff like that, I will suddenly get second-degree burns if I do that. So, preferably wait 5 minutes after you take it out the oven, obviously, just so you don't evaporate your hands on the tray and stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it. Obviously, if some cookies get connected together like here, just do that, nice and simple. Yeah. That's the recipe for the cookies. As you can see, here I'll take an example of this one. These are big cookies, the size of my palm. So, it should be warned that if you are a fan of smaller cookies, obviously make smaller batches. When, not only the cookie dough, but obviously when you're putting them on the tray. Not just that though, when you are, even if you've already made the batch and everything, you can still add more chocolate chips if you're not satisfied with the chocolate chip. That doesn't even just not go for chocolate chip. It goes if you're a fan of M&Ms or something like that. You can add M&Ms instead. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. Obviously, if you want more, add more of the ingredients to the batch so you can get more cookies if you want. But with the batch I've stated, you make a pretty good amount of cookies, as you can see listed in front of you. So that's the video. That's chocolate chip cookies. Thank you for watching, and come back again, please. Cookies! There's 30 delicious cookies!